Next, I'll talk about the WB alternatives. These are the highway alternatives, as we've discussed. Once again, generally this alternative, the WB1 alternative, and all the other WB alternatives generally follow the corridor preservation alignment, similar to the WA1 alternative that we just looked at. This alternative is a highway type function. It operates at a lower speed at the 55 miles per hour on the bypass portion, but it does provide more access as compared to the WA1 alternative. Another main difference between the highway alternatives and the previous alternative is that all the intersections are at grade, and that there are no interchanges. Like the WA1 alternative, the bypass segment extends from US 40 at 800 North, bypasses Heber City on the west side, and then connects to US 189 at Southfield Road. It would be at grade with signalized intersections at 800 North, SR 113, 1300 South, and US 189. The bypass would be an access category 3, which means access would only be allowed at signalized intersections. Unsignalized intersections and driveways would not be permitted. The speed limit on the bypass would be 55 miles per hour. Looking at 1300 South, the connection from US 40 on 1300 South would include intersections at Industrial Parkway, 300 West, US 189, similar as it is today. There would not be an intersection with South Daniels Road. Looking at North 40, we have the same assumptions as the previous WA1 alternative for an interchange at SR 32 and 3 signalized intersections between SR 32 and 800 North. Again, these would happen regardless of the outcomes of this EIS. With this alternative WB1, North 40 would be an access category 5, which allows access at signalized intersections, unsignalized intersections, and driveways. And there are minimum spacing requirements for each of these access points. Because of that, we are still implementing a frontage road system, but it would be more of a discontinuous frontage road, which would be constructed primarily on the east side, but there would be some portions on the west side as well. In stretches of North 40 where there are currently no accesses, no frontage roads would be constructed. If the area gets developed, developers would be required to construct the frontage roads as necessary to meet the minimum spacing requirements. And the speed limit on the North 40 segment would be 45 miles per hour. Looking at the table and looking at the criteria, you'll notice that for local mobility, all the intersections would operate at an acceptable level of service. One segment of Main Street would operate at a level of service F. For southbound queues, they extend about 1,500 feet, similar but slightly shorter as compared to the WA1 alternative. The travel times on Main Street from SR 32 to US 189 would be 10 minutes, similar to the WA1 alternative. If we did nothing, the travel time would be 16 minutes and 40 seconds. Looking at the regional travel time on the bypass from SR 32 to US 189 would be about 10 minutes and 25 seconds, just over a minute longer as compared to the WA1 alternative. Travel time on the bypass with alternative WB1 would be a savings of about 9 minutes as compared to the do nothing alternative. Looking at the preliminary impacts, they are fairly similar to the WA1 alternative, but it would cost less. There's approximately 6.6 acres of waters impacted, waters of the U.S. that are impacted. 8 potential historic buildings could be demolished, and then the 17 residents and businesses would be relocated. This alternative would cost about $173 million in today's dollars.